that. Hello and welcome to a Halloween themed Backpage Pass with more tricks and treatment than Cristiano Ronaldo in a clinic. We'll be picking over the bones of last weekend's action and then looking into our bubbling cauldron to conjure up predictions for the outcomes of next weekend's fixtures. I'm John O'Donnell and I've been joined by Mark Coffinrun. And who are you going to call? It's Egon Gracepaint.
Lame.
Egon was on the Ghostbusters. Were you too young for Ghostbusters?
I may have been too young for that, yeah.
Ghostbusters was awesome.
I've seen a few of them now. But
There's only two.
a few of them.
And everyone knows the theme tune.
Did you ever see the cartoon though?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The real
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Which was cartoons.
What was
called the real Ghostbusters?
You know, on the poster, isn't like it's like a green ghost or something?
Slimer.
Yeah, that's what it was going to call.
I think he had a different name in the movie to the cartoon.
Morgan Freeman. Slime.
What was great about that though was right. The guy in the cartoon who did the voice for Bill Murray did the voice in the cartoon for Garfield, and then Bill Murray did the Garfield in the movie. So the guy is like the B-list Bill Murray.
Wow.
Anyway, Saturday was kind of a sleepy sort of hollow affair, so I think I'll begin with the Sunday. He doesn't even get it. Owen doesn't get it. We'll start with the 3-2 thriller. That was the Mark Clattenburg horror show, and that's Chelsea 2, Man United 3. United are win a point of Chelsea now, and you know Van Persie scored a goal and nearly scored another goal. Is he going to be the difference in the long run?
Yeah, I think he will. He's added a lot of steel to the attack now. I think a more concrete pairing, Rooney and Van Persie rather than Rooney and Welbeck. And to have Hernandez as well in there coming off the bench is quite handy for United. To have four really good strikers. You compare it to some of the clubs in England that only have one striker. Yeah.
Yeah, tag me in. I'm greased up and ready to go.
go at it.
I have some home dingers of statistics that I picked up from doing bits and bobs and reading. Johnny Evans, did you know, has not conceded a foul so far this season.
Well, you know, he's committed them, but he hasn't been called up on them.
You know, but the fact of the matter is, he hasn't given away a foul. So maybe there's some kind of a conspiracy going on as to why Torres was given the second yellow. But then again, I thought he should have had the straight red in the first half with his flying judo drop kick.
That was a mistake.
So?
Like,
I'm sure when Shawcross broke Ramsey's leg, it was a mistake. He didn't mean to break his leg.
That was completely different.
Well, it was, because it was lower. He tried to take Clevery's head off.
He was going for the ball. He wasn't attempting to go through anyway.
Yeah, well, it was...
He can't go for the ball and judo chop somebody. No, judo kick somebody. Excuse me. Judo mixed up.
Alan Nigel de Jong, the World Cup, on Xavi Alonso, I think.
No, he was trying to kick him in the head. That's the difference. He wasn't trying to win the ball. Torres was looking at the ball and he stuck his foot up to win it, and cleverly happened to be careering into him.
Well, as a Liverpool man, Graham Souness put it, he was lucky to stay on there. So.
I would say so too. It was still, I reckon, yellow fair enough for that one.
Anyway, second good statistic is that in 18 Premier League games, Clattenburg had never sent off a Chelsea player before.
Ooh,
that's
and
spooky.
Then
Then he did two. Two came along at the same time. Spooky.
Ooh. Yeah. But we have to talk about the sending off. Well, United were in the ascendancy, and then Chelsea started coming back into it, and then United took over when Torres did get sent off. What did you think on? Did you think it was a sending off, the yellow, or the first yellow, or the second yellow?
Yeah, it was. The first foul was yellow at least, and the second one was a free kick to Chelsea anyway, because he did make a connection. And I know people were giving out saying that he went down too easily, but a lot of strikers do that now. It's accepted as a whole.
Evans caught his toe. It's hard to get your balance right mid-air when you're running and something catches you on the shin and then on the toe.
Yeah. Well, it's opened up a kind of very interesting debate, because you know that not that long ago it's either a foul or it's a dive, and I would have been on the kind of camp that here, if somebody goes down and the referee isn't giving a penalty or a free kick, and the player is gesturing for a free kick, and it's obvious the defender didn't get the ball, then the referee has no other choice than to book the player. But I've heard after the match, Souness and Neville were talking about the different types of diving that there are. So you know, it's a hard one to know, because I believe Torres could have stayed up there if he wanted to.
No.
Well, just hear me out.
No.
But was he trying to protect himself? Did he think, here, Johnny Evans is going to break my leg here if I don't try and take evasive action? or was he thinking, there's a tiny little bit of contact there, I'll go down? Because there was minimal contact there.
But when your toe gets clipped in midair, like...
But he caught him there.
No, it caught his shin.
I pointed to my shin, ladies and gentlemen. I pointed to my shin.
It caught him on the shin, and then he got him again on the toe.
Well,
it's hard to recover.
In my opinion,
Torres is focused on going on the ground until that contact with the shin and the toe, and then it's like, oh well, I'm going to miss the ground.
I kind of thought that, not saying whether it should have been a second yellow or where it should have been, but I thought he could have stayed up there and he just kind of went for the free kick. Now maybe it's impossible to know what a player is thinking as to whether he was thinking, here, I don't want to get injured, I'm taking evasive action, abort mission, or he was thinking, I'm going to go down here, good chance for a free kick. So it really kind of has complicated this whole cheating, diving thing.
It's a lot of yellow. They're throwing them around like with gay abandon these days. It's just yellows for any kind of diving. You're booked.
But even on the Ivanovic Ashley Young, there wasn't much more contact in that incident than there was Johnny Evans on Torres. There was a bit more, all right. And I know it's different because he's clipped his legs, but there was very little contact in that. So, I was in the company of two Leeds fans after that match, and both of them were adamant that both decisions were wrong, and they assured me that they would rather see Chelsea lose than to see them win because of the whole 70s Chelsea Leeds thing. But they said that both of those were wrong. Actually, very little contact there, and it was by accident.
I thought there would be more debate about Ivanovic because was it Luiz or Cahill was
right
level,
there.
nearly pretty much level, so he wasn't definitely last man back.
But I think in that incident he was kind of bursting past Ivanovic. Like there was,
it was a
Luiz was never going to get to him before he got his shot off. So I thought it was a sending off, but it's interesting that Ivanovic didn't mean to make contact. He Young kind of crossed his path really more than anything else. But again, there was at the speed that players go these days, it doesn't take that much to knock them over, I suppose. But I know. But what my point is that it's like the whole diving debate is just kind of taken on a new dimension as to whether it's impossible to know what a player is actually thinking when they're going over.
Okay, but what about the game in general? I remember saying I thought Chelsea were going to win, and they looked good for a win up until that point. What did you think of? Did you think Chelsea were the better team?
I thought when they got the second goal, I thought they'd have the momentum to go kick on and win the game. And then the sendings off changed it, obviously. But I thought with 10 men even, they still had a chance of winning the game. And I think they went for it then in the end. They threw Sturridge on, I think, towards the end.
Eventually, poor Sturridge was on that sideline for about 20 minutes.
Because he came up and then there was the first red card and he sat down. And he came up again. And you see the look on his face when Torres said, he's like, oh, come on!
What I loved was when Torres was going down the tunnel and he said something to the fourth official, and the fourth official was going, it's not my fault.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Like, I never understand why people go to the fourth officials. Do you want me to walk on there and tell him, no, you have to put him back on?
You're all the same. But that's enough about Clattenburg's opinion.
Well, I thought, the first half an hour was mostly...
over everybody's head. Okay, go on.
Shut up, you Spanish twat.
What were you saying?
I just thought the first half an hour was United's, dominate that. Second half an hour was Chelsea's, and that was roughly when Ivanovic was sent off. So it's impossible to know really. Chelsea, of course, had the momentum at that time, but it's impossible to know who would have gone on really to win. I think the key goal in the whole match was Mata's free kick to make it 2-1 right on half time, because United had got away with a few scares coming up to half time. There were some good chances missed by Chelsea, and had they lasted the extra, say, 90 seconds and got in at half time 2-0 up, probably Ferguson would have been able to steady the ship. Going in at 2-1 after conceding at half time, you're a bit nervous. You're thinking, are we going to blow a 2-goal lead? So Chelsea came out like a ton of bricks then again for the second half. So, we were denied probably the proper conclusion to what was a great game by those two sendings off. But that's the way it goes sometimes in football, I suppose.
And speaking of dodgy refereeing decisions, we're going to move on to Everton 2, Liverpool 2. And again, the ref was heavily involved. Now, I thought Sterling dived, Suarez should have been sent off, and then that goal that was disallowed in the last minute, they disallowed it for offside, but I think Skirtle was all over the defender, pushing him down as well.
No, I think it was Coates was over the all
It
over
was
the,
Coates, not Skirtle. Damn it, I knew.
was all over the defender, and he headed it, nodded it down to Suarez, but Suarez and Gerrard went straight to that linesman at the end of the game, and he told him it was offside. So that didn't even come into their mind that Coates was on the defender, and it took them quite a while as well to make the decision on offside.
I think they probably bottled it, really.
But they were right. The right decision in the wrong thingy.
I disagree. I thought it should have stood.
Coates was pushing down the defender.
It wasn't that much now.
He had his arms on his shoulders, pushing him down.
No,
jumping over.
I actually watched that and thought that's harsh. Because I don't want. We're talking about in the last game, very minimal contact, but you still have
It wasn't minimal.
No, but hang on. I'm just saying that in the last game that it was minimal contact on both red cards, but I don't want to see football turn into this kind of non-contact.
Yeah.
I thought, who was the other Everton defender that Coates was on top of, allegedly?
Yeah, Jagielka, I think.
Could have been Jagielka.
I kind of felt he was like, just please, I just don't want to deal with this at this time of the game. Just give me a free kind of thing.
No.
I don't think he fought hard enough for that, and I think if he's a much bigger man than Coates, so he could have fought for that harder.
What about the free kick that led to Liverpool's goal, where Sterling looked like he completely dived?
But that's the same thing I was saying to you earlier. That
I don't think he was touched at all, though. I think he just
he was clipped.
No, he was clipped, and then he ran for a few yards and then fell over.
But he was clipped.
But he ran for a few yards.
Wow. Yeah, but is it not a free for being clipped?
No, because he recovered his balance and then went down.
But the referee gave it. He clipped him. He kept going, and then he tried to clip him again, and he went down. But it was for originally. You can actually see Osman not looking at the ball. He's looking at Sterling's heels, actually trying to trip him. You can see him taking a swipe at his heels. It's not a biased view. You can see him.
You're the only one saying biased.
I was thinking it though.
No,
well, I'm kind of with you, John, that it probably wasn't a free kick, but I'm just saying, like, it didn't surprise me that it was given, because
What about Leon Osman's yellow card
for that
diving?
That
He
was
was given a yellow for diving.
Phil Neville, do you mean?
Oh, it was Phil Neville. Sorry.
Yeah.
that was blatant.
Blatant diving by Phil Neville.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
That dirty cheat.
But Phil Neville was saying
He
what I was
apologised.
saying earlier, that I thought Agger was going to take me out, and as it turned out, I was wrong. He had no intention to take me out at all.
But he just fell over. It's not a dive. There's a
No,
difference between falling over and
because
diving.
he admitted it afterwards. Even when he got the yellow card, he had his hands on his head, and he was like, "Oh, that was just so stupid." And Moyes went through him at half time apparently, and he apologised after the game.
Well, I look stupid.
Well, you don't look, John. This is all about hearing.
Well, I sound stupid.
I don't buy into it that it was embarrassing for Moyes that his captain dived because of the whole Suarez thing. First of all, Moyes was asked before the game what he thought about the whole Suarez diving thing. Everyone was asking him, so he gave his opinion on it. I don't buy into this thing that he had a vendetta to.
He didn't even name Suarez. He just said certain players.
And then
people
Suarez
just went, "That's definitely Suarez."
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then everyone was kind of like, "Oh, he had to go with Suarez," and then Neville goes down, and this is so embarrassing for Moyes because he had to go with Suarez, and now his captain is diving. Well, no, because that's probably the first time ever Phil Neville has dived, and Suarez, of course, is known for diving, and
I made a point of it by running over and diving.
and diving, you know. So yeah, but what was the question? I don't remember.
I forget. What about Suarez? He stood. He had a late challenge on Morelos, which caused Morelos to eventually go off, and then he had another one, I think, on Distan.
Distan, yeah, the heel.
So he had two really scummy tackles in the game. He scored the goal. He shouldn't have been on the pitch for that. Coates heading it down to him thing.
Because of the standing on distance.
Yeah, he got one yellow. He should have had 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He was just really bad at tackling on that game. What did you think of his overall performance, though?
Well, I think he's one. It's one of those probably that when people are saying or shouting abuse at him, he probably performs better. Like I can't think of very many players better than him at when a ball goes kind of towards the corner and it's himself and then a defender running towards it and he wins possession. I don't know of many people better than him that kind of wriggling out of that situation. You know what I mean, when he kind of turns it and creates a chance. He's very good at turning his defender in a tight situation. But he is a kind of a nasty character when you think about it. Like some of those fouls, maybe they were an accident. Like maybe standing on this time was an accident, but when you think of it in the context of he bit somebody when he was at Ajax and stuff like that, I'd say
he's a nasty piece of
work. Well, he knows how to look after himself anyway.
Meh. Anyway, Newcastle 2, West Brom 1. A draw looked like a more fair result, really, because West Brom weren't bad. They didn't really deserve to lose that match, did they?
No, Pardew said it after the game that they didn't deserve to win. He said it, Steve Clarke's team deserved to win, or deserved a point even. But fair enough, fair dues to Newcastle. They grinded out results like they did last season. So if they keep the two men up front scoring, they can push for Europe again like last year.
Yep, Cisse scoring with his arse.
Yeah, well, now we get to actually test out the whole theory of when a goal scorer hasn't scored and the manager goes, he just needs the one going off his bum, and then he'll be fine. So we just need to, we just need to see now in the coming weeks, is that actually true? Did he just need one to go in off his backside, or is that just a load of malarkey? But good result for Newcastle, because those are the kind of games that at the end of the season, like if Newcastle have a good season, if they win the FA Cup or they qualify for Champions League or whatever and consider a good season, those aren't the kind of games that you remember, you know, where you got a lucky 3 points there. But those are the important ones where, you know, when things aren't going for you and you're not having a good season, that one ends up 1-1 or maybe West Brom would have nicked the 2-1. So it was a good result for Newcastle.
Speaking of things not going for you and not having a good season, Southampton lost 1-2 or 2-1 if you will.
1-2 for America.
It's the same old story, Southampton. They were impressive, but they just didn't get a result.
Yeah, they play nice football, but I don't think they have the players to stay up. They don't they play well as a unit, but individually, I don't think they're very strong. So I think that's why they'll struggle. I know they have Gaston Ramirez, but he's been he's their best player.
He's been injured pretty much half the time he's been there as well.
Yeah, which is a problem for them.
And Arthur Boric threw a bottle into the crowd.
Oh yeah,
he threw it back into the crowd. As if that makes any difference.
What I said was factually correct. So
but it's not like he got a bottle and I hate you guys. It's like, but
my point being, that's going to be the most significant fallout from this game, because Southampton aren't going to stay up based
good
off.
old Arthur Boric, who hasn't played for Poland since he got drunk on an airplane and berated the manager.
Good call. But my point was that Southampton aren't going to stay up based on points that they get against top 4, top 5 teams. They need to start collecting them against teams that are going to be in and around them.
But at home to Tottenham, Tottenham were always going to beat them. Bale scored,
but they seem to get close results.
Yeah, this is it. And they were pressing towards the end. They were creating lots of chances and just knocking them wide. And
the problem is that they play these big teams. They get tight results, but they still lose, and that's not good for the morale when they're playing the likes of Norwich and stuff.
Yeah, that was the point that I think I was making at the start, but I lost it.
Yeah.
Saturday's action. This Saturday was god awful. We'll start with Aston Villa and Norwich.
Oh God!
It was really it was really, really bad until Villa went down to 10 men, and then Wes Hewlin kind of took control and made it a game. Wes for Ireland, he got called up in the squad.
Yeah, he's in the squad. Yeah, well, I was happy to see him getting called up. I think he created the Norwich equaliser as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a poor game.
He created a lot though. For a bad game. Yeah, I mean, after sending off, Norwich just started thumping it in. Really, pumpkin the ball into the box.
Well, I would have argued that man of the match would have gone to Benteke, who looked lively and took his goal well, and
starting to look good value for money as well.
Yeah, he is. Especially with Bent out of the team, because I was kind of looking at that, like if Bent's not in the team, they don't really have a recognised goal scorer. But this guy could well be the future for them. And
acts as a better focal point too. Another game that started horribly, but kind of picked up after a red card, was Arsenal beating QPR 1-0, and they went after a ghoulish challenge by Mboya on Vermaelen. What did you think?
Well,
stunned by my wordplay. Stunned.
To be honest, the only thing of real note out of that game for me was Jack Wilshere coming back.
17 months.
Because I was talking about that before, I think with Luke, we were discussing in an earlier podcast that, to me, for a while there, I was kind of like, is he ever going to come back? Because he'd been out for so long. Things just kept breaking down with different things.
Yeah, I'll lob up. I did a record of what happened to him and like each individual news story. And there was one where he went, just a bit of inflammation. And then 2 weeks later, surgery. He's out for another 4 months. Yeah. And that kind of thing just seemed to keep happening to him.
But at the same time, fair play to him because he came back and he played well. He was always showing for the ball. He was one of their better players on the day. They had to take him off after an hour, probably to do with his fitness. Yeah. He probably have a schedule for the next few months to play 60 minutes 1 week, 70
Even
the next.
Even at start, he's probably had his schedule.
Yeah. But like that was the highlight of that game. I was glad to see him back. But Arsenal should be doing a lot better than that because QPR very nearly nicked 1-1 out of that with 10 men. Well, they're just going through a bad time, don't.
Arsenal had 21 shots at 11 on target, and then QPR only had 4 shots, but 3 of them were on target. So is it better to dominate? Arsenal had 70% possession. Is it better to dominate the game and have loads of shots and win 1-0, or 4-3 and come close? Obviously, it's better to win the match, but is it better to play on the counter or to dominate?
I think when you're Arsenal, you want to be finishing. Like they've spent a lot of money on strikers over the years, so. Well, Giroud 12 million is quite a lot for Arsenal. So I think
Podolski as well, and
so like. They expect to be scoring goals. Like 1 goal from 21 shots isn't really great return. They had 21 shots the other night as well, and they got 7. So
stats.
Dominating is the answer to that because if you're dominating a game, your opponent is less likely to score, and you're more likely to score, and you've only one thing to work on, and that's
your
shooting.
Opponent has better opportunities if all your players are up in their end.
Not necessarily. You know, Barcelona don't concede often that they don't concede under Guardiola. They didn't concede that many great chances. Some set piece goals and things like that was mainly what they conceded from. Or if you scored against Barcelona, you scored a great goal. But anyway, Arsenal, their main problem in that game was really just score. Like it's not that hard when you're a professional footballer and you're camped on the edge of their box. Just score.
What are we? Next game, Man City 1, Swansea 0. And Man City were they were playing like zombies. They were just kind of shuffling around. They were playing at walking pace, certainly for the first half. And then Tevez, who looks like he's Halloweening it at the best of times, just pops up and pulls 3 points out of his arse.
Is that a cheap shot about his scar?
About his general face.
That's a low blow.
He's not a handsome man.
No, it's sad to see Vorm and Micah Richards
both injured. Yeah.
Is Micah Richards? I think it's December. He was coming back.
There was talk of 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
He's only back from injury.
Yeah.
I'm sick of players going down holding the back of their leg because whenever I see it, I think, well, that's ligaments. And it's not.
Yeah,
it's never ligaments.
Yeah,
or it's ligament damage, but you've never ruptured anything or even strained anything. Get up.
Just a stitch.
Bit of bitterness there from John.
Yeah, well, my career was brought to an untimely end by a cruise ship.
In general, it was a poor match, and I thought if Swansea could actually just somehow lift it a gear, there's points here for the taking, but they just couldn't do it. They created very little, and it took a great shot from Tevez. But even Man City, I don't think created an awful lot in that game as well. But by the way, that wasn't the longest game in Premier League history.
But it was reported as the longest game.
But it's not the longest game.
So what was the longest game?
I do not know. But they recorded it as the longest game because they played 12 minutes of
injury time.
But they didn't take it into account first half stoppage time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you play first half stoppage time, it goes back to 45 minutes at the start of the second half. So if you play 12 minutes of first half stoppage time, it still goes back to 45. Okay. Whereas 12 at the end of the game is 102. I read this on Martin Tyler's teasers on Sky Sports.
So did
he
Martin name the game?
Yeah, he had the top 10 or whatever of the longest games.
And that was up there though, right?
It was up there, but it wasn't there.
Okay. What about Swansea? Swansea, they started Michu in kind of a false 9 as opposed to Danny Graham as a proper 9.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about Michu was getting kicked in the face. In the first half, feeling sorry for him.
He had a couple of chances actually. Michu, he was in on goal. He sort of fluffed it a
Yeah.
bit, and Hart came out and stopped him. In fairness, but he had a chance to flick it over him.
Were Swansea showing too much respect to Man City by starting like that with a midfielder up front instead of a forward up front?
I don't know. I think that was the system. They defended very well. Like when the ball shifted, you could see all the midfielders going in a line like towards the other side. Like it was good defensive unit they had. But no, I think to catch them on the break, that was their plan, and they nearly did it with that chance with Michu.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with starting him with him because he's well capable of taking a goal as well.
Okay.
Touche.
Next match, now this is really horrific. Stoke 0, Sunderland 0, and the concept of boredom brought to life. Sunderland have had one shot on goal in their last 2 games.
Yeah, what is it they've had in their 9 games? They've had 12 shots or something.
12 shots on goal all season, and the next lowest is 28.
Jesus. And I have Stephen Fletcher in my fantasy team.
Imagine you bought a season ticket, and that's what you were going to see.
Well, whose fault is that? Is that just purchasing tactics in the transfer market, or is it just poor tactics or
I
poor?
think it's old school tactics. I mean, nobody plays like that anymore.
Well, like
except Stoke. But Stoke get away with it. Stoke.
A Villa, he wasn't boring.
It was more of an attacking team.
I know, but in the years since he was at Villa, kind of the idea of possession and passing has moved on. So his teams see less of the ball now, so there's less of a chance to just hoof along. Also, I think he's missing Heskey.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a chance to buy Emil Heskey since he's been a.
Oh, he was freed on the summer.
I know.
Just take him.
He just didn't take him.
But Sunderland, the one thing about them though, they're hard to beat. They haven't really lost.
They haven't lost a lot, but
they've drawn.
Score a goal.
Yeah,
they drew
it's fun.
5. Anyway.
Try it sometime.
Next game, Wigan 2, West Ham 1, and Wigan were predictably unpredictable. We thought they didn't stand a ghost of a chance.
No,
but they played West Ham off the pitch. Really, like West Ham didn't really get any chances till the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was scary how good they were.
Yay! Sam Allardyce, I'd say he was like a monster after.
Yeah. No, we predicted West Ham to win that. I think you said 4-1 to West Ham.
Yep. I also said Chelsea would win 4-1. I should stop pulling out the big guns because they never work for me.
Wigan are just one of those teams that they end up losing to Bradford. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just don't know what's going on with them. Like.
Very unpredictable.
Speaking of unpredictable, Reading 3, Fulham 3. I'm going to miss Reading when they get relegated because they're very entertaining.
Yeah, so that's in 2 games for them. They have scored 8 goals.
8 goals.
Yeah, that's unusual.
And not one either.
Yeah.
You know, the last team to lose a game 7-5 were Reading.
Oh, 7-4 against Portsmouth.
No, that was. But the last team to actually lose a game 7-5 were also Reading. I think it was in the 80s, 86. Wow. I feel. Yeah, so that's another stat.
Apparently, Berbatov needed an injection at half time. Can you imagine Berbatov on painkilling injections? That was as dull as he's just moping around like, yeah, whatever. Imagine him on drugs as well.
He said today he wanted to play till he was 40. And my reaction was...
I think he could.
No!
It looks like he already is.
Yeah. He has the energy. He'll conserve the energy anyway.
He's just waiting for a final push.
Yeah. When he's 40, you'll see his pace coming out. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we'll break there and return after a short break like zombies rising from the dead, except we'll be feeding your brains with opinions instead of feeding on your brains, hey?
They did the mash. They did the monster mash. The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash. What's that coming over the hill? It's part 2. And we've been reanimated and we're shuffling towards next weekend at an inescapable pace, starting with Man United versus Arsenal. And I just want to talk about this all day. It's RVP's first game back at Arsenal. They had the 8-2 last year. Can that happen again?
Yes.
With RVP scoring 8 goals?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not going to happen again. Unfortunately, I wish it would. But I saw today Wenger was asking the Arsenal fans to respect Robin Van Persie. I think they were singing at the Reading match, Robin Van Persie, but I think they had the G at the end. So,
Robbing Van
Persie.
As if they were robbing him. No, she was robbed kind of a situation.
Yeah, but to the kind of untrained ear, he would think, Oh,
Oh,
they
they
still
still
love
like
me.
me.
Yeah. you
No,
know.
Robin, they don't like you at all. Well, I know Arsenal fans always say, "Oh, well, I have the greatest respect for him," but they have to feel cheated by his saying, "Oh, I'm not going for the money," and then,
Well, he did go for the. I actually want to win something
well, yeah, I suppose.
because
He could have went to Man City. He was offered £300,000 allegedly a week at Man City, and he went to Man U. So
Sure, he could have gone to Qatar or Russia or anywhere. Like, and you would get paid. PSG get paid more than you would have Man United. So, I wouldn't say United handed over the 200 grand a week. I wouldn't say that was their come here. You can have 200,000 because they don't generally pay that to very many people.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think he came to try and win trophies,
Okay.
which is more of a damning indictment on Arsenal than it is, a fact about Man United. Arsenal when he first went to Arsenal, he would have gone there thinking he could win trophies, but
Yeah, and then, well, yeah, they
joined
won the year before.
They were the
when he joined
Invincibles. He
Yeah.
joined the Invincible team.
up. Anyway, both teams played like big epic cup games during the week. Do you think any of their cup teams are going to start? I'm thinking for United, like Anderson, Nani, Welbeck.
no. Raphael is the only one that I can see actually starting it, and that's no insult to any of the guys that actually started. It's just a sheer fact they played 120 minutes. Anderson had a great game, I thought, but he looked absolutely just jaded after about 70 minutes. He had nothing left. To be honest, I was watching the Arsenal match and I was thinking, yes, this is just what
they're
they
just
yeah,
getting tired out.
yeah,
Especially Walcott, he was just at walking pace towards the end.
yeah, and then of course that's the way karma works. That you're just like you get extra time yourself, except you lose. But I think it's make it. United Arsenal games are generally good games. They tend to go for each other. I don't think this will be any different.
What about you, Owen? Do you think any of the Arsenal players are going to start? Like Walcott played brilliantly, but should be tired. Shamak played pretty well.
Maybe Walcott. I really can't see, and Koscielny as well. But I can't see.
No, Koscielny played bad.
He didn't play. He didn't play well, but he'll be in the. I'd say be in the starting lineup.
Ahead of Vermaelen and Mertesacker, who've been playing well.
He could play Vermaelen left back.
Well, yeah, they do need. Santos has been pretty bad, and Gibbs is still injured.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so it could be like that. But I can't see Arshavin starting. I saw about 10 minutes of him just giving the ball away.
He's a fierce set of tits on him, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's really have to get a proper set of boots.
Really lost his touch. He should have stayed in Russia when he went back. I actually couldn't believe
Well, they
he was
let him
playing.
go on a free, and nobody wanted him.
Oh, it's bizarre.
He did still that run towards the end, where I think it was the equaliser where he ran across and had the shot and it fell back to Walcott.
4-all. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was the. Or was that the 6-5? It was
7 was Shamak, 6. Yeah,
6-5. Yeah. No, like he's shocking to me. I remember a time when Arsenal used to sing, "He's 5'4". We've got our Shavin, Daddy Bayor, and that could well be more to do with the Adebayor part. But
he
they used to
played
love
when
him.
he first came. He had those 4 goals against Liverpool.
And then the next season he scored again. Like he scored 5 at Anfield. So
No, he was. What happened to him? Like, is it just age? Because he is.
He was pretty old when he got to Arsenal in the first place. I think he was 27 when they signed
Yeah.
him. And like, nobody had heard of him until he was 27, which is, I think, an indictment that he's always been a bit lazy and he's kind of perked up for a year. Zenit won the Europa League or was the UEFA Cup back then, and then and he played well at the Euros.
in 08, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's been a major disappointment, and just the fact that he's a bit of a Berbatov that they just can't get rid of him.
Yeah,
just go, like, please go, and he won't go.
Okay.
But I'm surprised, say somebody like an Anzi hasn't gone for him, like, because they seem to be collecting those big name players.
Well, maybe they just don't think he's worth it.
Yeah. Arsenal question, by the way. What happened to your man Baptista, who used to play with them?
He's at Malaga at the moment.
He went back. He went to Madrid as part of one of Reyes' deals.
Yeah, and then he went back to Brazil for a while.
Because he had a great game against Liverpool as well.
In the 6-3 at Anfield, he scored 4 or 5. I think it was 5 actually. He got it.
I remember thinking, this guy, he looks like
He was
the real
a
deal.
top scorer at Sevilla then the year before he left.
That's what. Yeah.
Again, another player who played great, but then just kind of fell off. Is he at Malaga now?
He's at Malaga now at the moment. Yeah, he's not getting a game, but he did. He had a good season last season.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Fulham versus Everton. I like both these teams, but I have a feeling it's going to be a dull game. I don't know why.
Because Why would it be a good game? That's a Craven Cottage.
Yeah, no, Fulham are
like that.
usually good, pretty entertaining, and Everton have been playing well this season, despite what Jared's saying about them being a long ball team, which is
Stokes,
nonsense.
He's actually retracted that.
Yeah, well, about time.
As you would, like.
Yeah, I just think they'll cancel each other out.
Yeah. No, they are relatively similar in their level, somewhat. I think Everton will take that game though. I think it could be like a 1-1 or 2-1, sorry, or 1-0.
Tell you anyway.
Yeah. I think Berbatov could maybe nick a goal. That's how I'm feeling. But it's going to be one of those maybe like fourth last, third last on match of the day.
Sorry, that was a weird noise. Next match. Norwich versus Stoke. And do you reckon Houghton will try and out Stoke or by playing Holt, or will he just try and play football?
Or Houghton.
Houghton.
Houghton. I think it's Houghton. Chris Houghton.
No,
Chris
you.
Chris Houghton. Houghton.
Houghton.
Houghton.
H-U-G-H-T-O-N.
It's Houghton.
Houghton. He's Houghton and Hopkins.
Is this Chris?
It's a real hootenanny out there at Carroll Road. I don't know why I put on a bog rack. Anyway, what do you reckon? Holt, do you think Holt will start, or Morrison, or Simon Jack?
I think they did well playing a bit of football last week against Villa, so he might, like, they're at home, so...
Houlihan?
Houlihan, yes. The fans might...
Houlihan or Houlihan?
No, it's Houlihan.
Houlihan.
It's Cool Whip.
Okay, anyway.
What was that in?
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Oh,
Whoopi Goldberg.
Sunderland are the new Stoke. They're against Villa. And you could basically write a review right now. It's going to be 0-0 and both teams are just going to struggle to create.
Yeah, I do my football predictor thing. No money involved, of course.
Just good,
just,
wholesome
just
fun.
for laughs. Yeah. And
Wholesome.
Is your window open or something?
No, it's bent. Drafty.
Yeah. No, anyway, I put this down for 0-0 because neither team inspires me. I think Sunderland would be happy if they get their shot total to the season to a grand total of 14, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's on target. They're shooting more than that. They're just...
Yeah, but they may as well not be like
Yeah.
because they're
Putting the miles out.
yeah. Like they never, even in the Newcastle match, when it really counted, they never really looked like they were going to score until John O'Shea's header that was probably going to go wide was knocked in.
Scholar golf.
Yeah. So Newcastle had to lend Sunderland the goal scorer. Just pressing as that.
Swansea versus Chelsea. Both teams had big wins in the cup. Swansea were
beat Liverpool at Anfield.
mm-hmm. And they played a lot of first teamers in that match. Will Chelsea be more fresh?
No, because
they played extra time as well on Wednesday.
Because if you look at that Chelsea team, Czech will play.
Yeah, keeper.
Mata.
Yeah, well, no,
Mata
Luis Cal will play. Mata will play as well. But even Hazard and Oscar got decent minutes in that. They probably got about 50 or 60 minutes themselves.
There's talk that Cole's going to be injured, so Bertrand might
play.
Although he looks like
Torres will be back though, won't he? Torres will be back because he's...
Torres should be back.
Yeah.
Could Ivanovic just have second red of the year, is it?
He could be.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got sent off before. He also got sent off in the Community Shield as well.
That's what it was.
Oh, but that didn't count, so
no,
I'm not sure.
Those 3 games.
No, he wasn't banned. No, he used to.
Oh.
But this year they changed it, so he wasn't suspended at the start of the season.
Oh, that's true, actually. What out of this game, I'd be more looking for Swansea to step it up from the Man City performance because I felt they could have gone for that more last week, and who knows? Maybe Chelsea will be caught in the hop because they've
hop.
Whip.
Whenever anybody says anything with a H in it now, I'm just going to be annoying them.
Houghton. Hazard.
Guess what game is next?
I'm not finished making my point.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't even know that. Wait. What was I talking about?
Chelsea could be caught out on the weekend.
Yeah, because they lost their last two fixtures before the
in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think it was if we had hung on for those last 10 seconds, that would have been
we being Manchester United.
We Manchester United. That would have been the first time in 10 years they lost 3 games in a row, I think they said in commentary.
What?
Now, as it turned out, it didn't happen like that. But they're not going through necessarily a great spell of form. So if United can beat Arsenal, I could see Chelsea dropping points there. You never know. It could have a switch at the top of the table.
Okay, next game.
Get to the West Ham.
No. Tottenham versus Wigan.
No, the West Ham was much stronger.
Sorry, Tottenham versus Wigan comes next. This is still Saturday, 3 o'clock. Again, this is continental formations and playing styles. Will just the quality of player be the difference, or?
Yeah, I'd say it's a home win, easy home win.
Am I right in saying though that Wigan went there last season and won?
Yeah,
and won.
They've won it twice, I think, in the last 3 seasons, maybe there.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe it's a bogey team for them, but I'd expect Spurs to win that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it like Wigan play 3 at the back and
Wigan
play 3 at the back.
Dave Whelan.
They play 3 at the back, and Gareth. No, that's not working.
No.
Hale. No. Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
He'll just get in down the sides and just have loads of room. So Wigan may have to change their formation.
Yes, they may, but that's too funny to even talk about.
Okay, the half-5 match. We've all been waiting for this one. It's West Ham.
Do you think we're overdoing it a bit?
A little bit. Versus Man City. City have had a few days off to rest and regroup. They should win this, right?
Well, they had a rest last Saturday as well, when you think about it.
Yeah, they've had for 2 weeks, really, essentially.
Yeah, I think they'll...
Didn't really turn up against Ajax either.
No, I think they'll have to. I think Mancini gave them a kick up the arse there after the last game. So I'd say they'll win that game quite easily. Provided Toure decides to play. Yeah, Toure, because he just, last month or so, he's just been sauntering around the pitch.
Yeah, his agent said he wanted to move.
Yeah, back to Barcelona, but that's not really going to happen, is it?
No,
they don't.
He should have said that before they bought Son. Shit.
Yeah.
More's to fool him.
But even like if Barcelona went for him, they're not going to have the money to pay for him.
No, not the wages he's on.
No.
He's the highest paid player in the league, apparently.
He was. That's gone. I think Rooney's on more now. What was I going to say? City, though, they struggle from set plays, and that's all West Ham do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see Carroll causing a problem. You could even see Carroll getting his first goal there. But
I can't.
You can't?
Nah.
Really?
Because if he hasn't had it yet, he's not going to get it. Well, yeah, he tends to perform against the big teams.
He did it for Liverpool. His first goals for Liverpool were against Man City a couple of years ago.
Maybe.
Rejected. Slapped down.
Yeah, okay.
No, City to win, but I think I can see the West Ham scoring that much.
Okay, let's move on to Sunday. 1:30 QPR versus Reading. And Reading really should be shattered. So, do QPR need to be patient and kind of pass the ball around, or do they need to just go out all guns blazing?
This could actually be quite an interesting game because Brian McDermott said after the game on Tuesday that the dressing room was like a funeral and everybody was really embarrassed.
It's the right week for it. It's Halloween. We're going with that theme. I know yesterday was Halloween and I've kind of been pushing this
stretching. Like, are funerals scary?
They are if you're in the box and you're not dead.
It's open casket.
And they're really ugly.
Oh God. Anyway,
just brought the mood down there.
So, yeah, but I think QPR, the more it goes when they're kind of going to a game like this where you think, yeah, they have a good chance of getting points out of that. They kind of have this weird pressure on them where they're bottom of the table and they shouldn't have pressure on them, but because they've spent so much money, they really should. So I think that will be a draw. It'll be difficult for Reading to get themselves up again, but I just don't see QPR having the wherewithal to actually go ahead and take the 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
that was just absolute. I don't even care. Yeah.
No. QPR. It's going to take a lot for them to stay up this season because, like Mark said, there's a lot of pressure on them, and they brought it on themselves from spending a lot of money on some ridiculous signings. So
yeah. And 4 p.m. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool are 12th. Newcastle are 10th. These games are always great, and both teams really need a win at the moment, don't you think?
Yeah, they really do. I can see Liverpool nicking it because I'll be on the cop. So,
you're actually going to that You always go to Liverpool Newcastle.
I was there last season. They won sort of a good luck charm. Don't want to jinx it or anything, but I think
I'm going to steal your passport.
Is it on the cop or in the cop?
on the cop. Or
You're on the cop.
on the cop because it's on the. It's like a
Is
hill.
it? It's like Hill 16, so you're on
the
the
hill.
hill.
On the hill, yeah. That's true.
No, it's in the cup.
The cop on the cop. You know, corner the cop.
On the cop sounds like you're robbing something.
So yeah, it sounds like Liverpool. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, like, doesn't it though? Oh, I'm on the
Although,
cop. Oh no,
we're
you're
gonna
not
have
in
to
school.
inquiry into that comment.
You know, you're not in school. You know what I mean?
But it's
I'm on the
Saturday
cock.
or Sunday usually. Unless it's Champions League, but even then, they don't have Champions League matches when you're supposed to be in school. Anyway,
Unless you play in Russia. No, I actually think Newcastle are going to win that because I think they're due against Liverpool.
yeah,
They won the last game in St James's now, but yeah, at Anfield they're due to win.
So I can actually. I just have
everybody's due.
I
Liverpool. Everybody's cashing in on the win that they're due at Liverpool at the moment.
have it down as a 2-1 to Newcastle because Liverpool just don't inspire me to actually score goals.
It's all about Gerrard at the moment.
Yeah.
When he plays well.
Fair enough, they got 2 at the weekend, and that's not bad. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that Newcastle will pick up points there.
I mean, I'm hoping. Well, really, it's Ben Arfa's position.
But for your sake, in that you're travelling over.
No, I want him to have a horrible week.
Yeah.
I envisage a 2-1 to Liverpool. To be honest, I can see Suarez getting 2 because he's the only man that looks like scoring at the moment.
Colaccini will put him in his pocket.
We'll see.
Maybe you step on his ankle and you see who's in whose pocket.
If Sterling does something, maybe. West Brom versus Southampton on the Monday at 8 p.m. Now, these are two, again, likeable teams, and I think West Brom are a bit better.
That is such a fixture where Sky are just like, oh God, we are obliged to show these teams.
I know, but you wouldn't usually see these teams play each other. Like, if they were on at 3 o'clock...
There's
you
a
would see
reason
this
for
game.
that.
No, I think it could be good. They both play football.
What else is on at 8 o'clock on a Monday?
There's probably Simpsons on something.
Yeah, Simpsons. Oh man, Simpsons will be awesome on Monday night. No. West Brom will be disappointed after last week, so they'll be looking for 3 points definitely.
Shane Long could be injured.
Yeah, no, he is. He's going to be out. Is he? He's left out of the Ireland squad as well.
Yeah, well, Trapattoni said he won't play, which means he probably will play against. He said he won't play for West Brom between now and the Greece game, but I think he will. Because I hear that kind of thing a lot from Trapattoni, and then he's always wrong.
West Brom are home though, aren't they? So they're generally quite strong at home. Even they lost to Man City, but they were even played quite well. I heard Lukaku's going to go back to Chelsea though January.
Really?
In January.
On
January.
That must have been pre-written into the thing, like.
No, Steve Clark was saying I have no control over it. He can either they have option to take him back, but he's not definitely coming back. But they'll definitely be hoping that he stays.
Owen's run out of opinions. Okay, I think
He's just thinking about his flight to Liverpool.
I gotta get this, I gotta get that, how am I gonna get through? Anyway, where are we? Well then, I suppose there's nothing next to say except bats all, folks. And we'll be back next week with less Halloween puns for our next edition of Backpage Pass. You can find out where to stream / download them from,
as in P or as in cut somebody.
As in cut somebody. Kind of slasher movie was what I was going for there.
A movie about peeing.
Yeah. So anyway, you can stream or download them from our YouTube channel or our Facebook page.
So now you've said stream, and stream also reminds me of peeing.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe or like as appropriate. If you're cool, you'll do both. Really. I've been John O'Donnell with Mark Corcoran and Owen Grace, and thanks very much. Thanks very much for listening. I'm going to talk to you again next week. I'm going to have to stop writing that.
What did you dress up as for Halloween?
I didn't. I just bought face paint, and then I didn't even bother putting it on. and didn't go out at all for all Halloween.
When now you have face paint to use at another occasion, Christmas maybe.
Yeah, I can have green. I could have a green face for. I could do a Grinch.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would do a Grinch, but I could.
Or you could just do a Christmas Joker.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what that is, but okay.
Celebrate the new Batman DVD coming out, Christmas Bane.
Yeah, he was. I mean, all I'd have to do is shave my head, really.
Yeah, and
get a mask.
Get a mask.
Black bad carnival voice.
There's some great. No, it was a poor.
I'm from Uzbekistan. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a neo-Nazi, but I like the hair and the kind of Christian iconography tattoos. Me, David Beckham, Justin Timberlake, we all have that going on.
No, but your hair is a little bit longer than
It is now, but a few weeks ago.
Yeah. You don't have any Christian tattoos,
No, but I like them.
or do you?
No.
Harp is close enough.
Yeah. Angels play harps.
Did you see the Man United banners at the match last night?
Yeah, Clattenburg.
Referee, leader, legend. And the other banner they had like Chelsea fighting racism since Sunday.